The shocking death of South Africa's former ambassador to France, Nathi Mthethwa, has sent waves of grief and confusion through both his homeland and the international community. On September 30, 2025, Mthethwa was found lifeless at the Hyatt Regency Paris Etoile Hotel in what was initially reported as a suspected suicide. Authorities at first believed he had fallen from the hotel's 22nd floor, but as the days passed, new revelations began to emerge that cast serious doubt on the original conclusion. What seemed at first to be a straightforward case of self-inflicted tragedy quickly transformed into a web of mystery, political intrigue, and unanswered questions. The earliest reports suggested that Mthethwa's death was the result of despair or mental distress, but investigators soon uncovered a piece of information that changed everything. Records indicated that the phone number of Julius Malema, the controversial leader of the Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF, appeared on Mthethwa's mobile device only minutes before his fatal fall. The discovery of this connection instantly raised eyebrows, prompting the public and the media to ask uncomfortable questions about the nature of their relationship and whether Malema might be more deeply entangled in the matter than anyone had previously imagined. The sudden involvement of such a politically charged figure introduced a volatile new dimension to the case. Adding to the confusion were conflicting media accounts about the location of Mthethwa's phone after his death. Some initial reports claimed that the device had been found in the nearby Bois de Boulogne Park, suggesting that Mthethwa may have walked there before his fall or that someone else could have moved his belongings. However, these reports were soon proven false. French authorities clarified that the ambassador's phone was actually recovered within the hotel premises, not in the park as earlier claimed. This correction helped investigators piece together a clearer picture of Mthethwa's final hours, confirming that he likely never left the building before his death. The discovery was critical, as it aligned with the security footage timeline of his last known movements within the hotel. Recognizing the seriousness of the situation, the South African government immediately dispatched a team from the South African Police Service to France to assist local authorities. Their involvement signaled Pretoria's determination to ensure a transparent and comprehensive investigation. Officials emphasized that the case was being treated with the utmost gravity, not only because of Mthethwa's diplomatic status but also due to the sensitive international implications it carried. The revelation that Julius Malema's number appeared on Mthethwa's phone moments before his death only added to the pressure, intensifying public interest and speculation. Malema, as the head of the Economic Freedom Fighters, is one of the most polarizing figures in South African politics, admired by his supporters as a voice for economic justice and criticized by opponents for his confrontational style and frequent clashes with the establishment. Until this discovery, Malema and Mthethwa were not known to have a particularly close relationship. Their respective political affiliations placed them on opposite sides of South Africa's political landscape. Mthethwa had long been associated with the ruling African National Congress, while Malema's EFF has often been one of its loudest critics. The sudden link between the two raised natural questions. What did they discuss, if anything, in those final minutes? Was the call related to politics, personal matters, or something else entirely? At this point in the investigation, there remains no concrete evidence suggesting that Malema played any direct role in Mthethwa's death. The mere appearance of his phone number, while suspicious, is not sufficient proof of wrongdoing. Still, given the prominence of both men, investigators are leaving no stone unturned. Authorities are now examining every possible lead, including the content of any communications between Mthethwa and Malema, the timing of their interactions, and whether any potential motive could be uncovered. Every text message, call log, and digital trace is being carefully analyzed to determine whether their connection holds any significance or if it was an unfortunate coincidence that occurred shortly before the tragedy. Investigators are also reviewing hotel surveillance footage, witness statements, and staff interviews to reconstruct the ambassador's final hours with precision. This level of scrutiny reflects the immense public pressure surrounding the case, as citizens demand answers and accountability from both South African and French officials. Complicating the picture further are Julius Malema's recent legal troubles. In August 2025, just weeks before Dua's death, Malema was convicted of hate speech, a verdict that once again placed him under intense public scrutiny. While this legal issue is unrelated to the ambassador's case, its timing has added another layer of intrigue and suspicion to the unfolding investigation. Many observers note that Malema's notoriety makes any connection to him automatically newsworthy, fueling speculation that might not otherwise exist. Still, his name's proximity to such a high-profile death has only deepened the public's fascination and the media's relentless coverage. In the wake of these revelations, the media has been flooded with speculation. Television panels, radio discussions, and online forums have become battlegrounds for competing theories about what really happened in that Paris hotel room. Social media platforms, in particular, have exploded with conjecture. Some users suggest that Malema and Dua might have shared a secret or clandestine relationship, political or personal, while others believe their communication could have been tied to diplomatic tensions or undisclosed political deals. Such theories, though sensational, remain entirely unverified. Journalists and analysts have repeatedly cautioned against drawing premature conclusions based solely on circumstantial evidence. Without verified proof, these narratives risk damaging reputations and distorting public perception. Responsible voices within both the South African and French media have urged patience and restraint. Investigative journalists have called for complete transparency, insisting that the case be handled through proper legal and diplomatic channels rather than trial by media. Political analysts echo these sentiments, emphasizing that in high-profile cases like this, due process must take precedence over speculation. Every person connected to the investigation, they argue, must be treated as innocent until proven otherwise. This principle, though fundamental, is often tested when emotions run high and public curiosity demands immediate answers. Officials have also reminded the public that investigations of this magnitude take time. The process involves coordinating between two nations, each with its own procedures and legal standards. The South African government has reaffirmed its commitment to uncovering the truth, pledging full cooperation with French authorities in order to resolve every lingering doubt. Both governments have emphasized that their shared goal is not only to determine how Nathi Mthethwa died but also to protect the integrity of diplomatic relations between their countries. Forensic teams continue to analyze the evidence, reviewing all potential scenarios, from suicide to foul play, without ruling anything out prematurely. The discovery of Julius Malema's number on Dua's phone remains one of the most perplexing elements of the case, and investigators are treating it with the seriousness it deserves. Yet they have also warned against interpreting this detail in isolation. A single phone record, they explain, does not constitute proof of a connection to the death itself. Instead, the true picture will only emerge after all communications, surveillance footage, and digital evidence have been examined collectively. Meanwhile, the atmosphere in South Africa remains tense. The tragedy has reopened public debates about mental health among government officials, the pressures of diplomatic life, and the entanglement of politics with personal relationships. Citizens, shaken by the loss of a respected envoy, are demanding transparency not only from the police but also from the political elite. Many fear that the truth may be obscured by power struggles or political alliances, a concern that both the South African Police Service and the French authorities have promised to address by maintaining independence and impartiality throughout their inquiries. As the investigation continues, it has become clear that this case is not simply about one man's death, it is about the fragile intersection of diplomacy, politics, and public perception. The discovery that Julius Malema's number appeared on Dua's phone minutes before his fall has undeniably intensified the mystery, but it does not yet provide a definitive explanation. What remains certain is that the world is watching closely as investigators piece together the final moments of a diplomat whose life was cut short under troubling and unclear circumstances. In the end, it is vital for the public and the media to resist the temptation of sensationalism and to focus instead on verified facts. While it is natural for speculation to arise in moments of uncertainty, such conjecture can cloud judgment and hinder justice. The only path forward lies in a comprehensive, impartial investigation, one that follows the evidence wherever it leads, without fear or favor. Only through such diligence can the truth about Nathi Mthethwa's death be uncovered, ensuring that his legacy as a public servant is honored and that justice, whatever its outcome, is ultimately served. For now, the call for patience and due process echoes across both nations. Investigators continue their work in pursuit of clarity, while the world waits for answers to one of the most perplexing and emotionally charged cases in recent South African diplomatic history. Until then, restraint, factual reporting, and respect for the truth remain the guiding principles that will determine how this tragic story is remembered in the years to come.